Seeing Erik Ten Hag celebrating on the sidelines at Old Trafford yesterday was fantastic. Man United securing Champions League football after winning the League Cup, our first trophy in 6 years. It's not been the perfect first season by any stretch of the imagination. There's been bumps and bruises. There's Brighton there. That was against Brentford. We've had some lows, and certainly with personnel as well, the Ronaldo situation in particular. But Ten Hag has come through all of them. And Manchester United now, top 4 finishers, League Cup winners, and we're looking good for next season. We've got great players in already, but we do need more. He's made that abundantly clear. Rashford scoring 30 goals, the first since Van Persie. It feels good to have the right man in charge. I've got full belief in Ten Hag. He just needs to be backed. I'll tell you what, the future's looking very bright indeed.
I can leave him because next cup, this one is it.
I think it's safe to say that Erik Ten Hag has had a successful first season at Manchester United. It's the first time in 10 years that we've got into the top 4 and won a trophy in the same season. That stat blew my mind. But Ten Hag has been wonderful. Have there been hiccups? Yep. Is there room for improvement? Lots of it. But from where we were to where we are now, Ten Hag has done an incredible job. And what I want to do in this video is highlight exactly how I feel he's done that. With different fundamentals and cornerstones across the course of the season, you should enjoy this one. I hope you enjoyed that intro. I enjoyed making it. Make sure you drop a like on the video, but let's run through it. And as I said, it's really important to remember where we were. Last season, we finished in 6th place, 14 points behind where we currently stand, and we've got 1 game left. We got into the 4th round of the FA Cup, the 3rd round of the League Cup, and we got knocked out in the Champions League round of 16. This season, we're in the FA Cup final next Saturday. Let's see what happens, eh? We've already won the League Cup. We're in the Europa League quarter-final, and we're finishing 3rd instead of 6th. At this 3rd or 4th, it doesn't really matter. Top 4 has been achieved. Champions League football is back at Old Trafford next season, and that was the main objective. Now, lots of people, I had doubts as well about whether or not Man United could make it there. But you want to know probably I would say the biggest reason we're there, no, obviously because of Ten Hag being our manager, but the biggest thing that he got right was the summer. The biggest thing he got right was recruitment. That's been the core of all of our changes. Casemiro, Eriksen, Anthony to a certain degree, Martinez, Dubravka, yeah, we could write that one off. And mufc has been a decent squad signing. Let's see how he improves next season. But getting your signings right, bringing in players that can change and transform a mentality of a team properly, that's how you take a team from where it was to where you want it to be. As good as a coach as you can be, you need the signings as well. Now, Gary Neville's gone as far as to say that United wouldn't be in the Champions League without Casemiro, and I'd probably say the same thing about him. I'd probably say the same thing about Martinez. Those 2 signings in particular from Ten Hag have been crucial to bringing us to where we are now. Should have done that one. Well, that's my second point. But going back to what I was saying there, signings, and it's why this summer is so important. We're back in the Champions League. That's brilliant. Now I want to win it. We're far away from that. How do we close that gap? Signings. And I'll speak about signings a little bit later in the video as well. But the second thing that Ten Hag has got right is how he's managed this football club. Since day one, he came in and he was known, he had a reputation for being relentless, hard-working, intense. And that's been the case since day one, no matter who you are. If you're a teenager, I probably should have looked at these photos first. Maybe make sure I've got these all nice and full screen for you. I think I have. Anyway, what an amateur. Whether you're a teenager on the preseason who's late and then you get dropped out of some of the games. Whether you're the captain of Manchester United and you're there where Man United lose 4-0 to Brentford and you get dropped for that one too. Whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo. And how he handled that Ronaldo situation, honestly, I think has been one of the most important things that Ten Hag has got right throughout his tenure. I think it was, for a lot of people, for me as well, I agree with them. The way he handled that Ronaldo situation at the time was so crucial. And I think it sort of set the example throughout the entire squad. So whether you're Alejandro Garnacho, whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo, whether you're Marcus Rashford, you're our top scorer, and you turn up late, now you're going to get dropped for Wolves. What happened in that game against Wolves? Came off the bench and he scored the winner. He's been very consistent with his messaging the whole way through. And I think that's been a big, important factor throughout all of this as to how Ten Hag has been able to gain and maintain the respect of everybody. He's not really treated anybody differently. No teachers' pets. I don't think so anyway. Now, one thing I think that I would probably credit Ten Hag for, look, we're nowhere near that full-flowing, exciting, attractive, high-pressing game that we want to see. That's why we need a really successful summer. But I've got a picture of the Gea there because I think Ten Hag, if you look at the reaction after Brentford away and the reaction after Brighton away before, was that before we played them in the FA Cup semi? No, I might have got my games mixed up. But anyway, in those games, I know it was after Sevilla in the quarterfinal of Europa League. We got trounced after playing it out from the back. We started going long and direct. Ten Hag has been able to compromise his style for results. Now, not every manager is capable of doing that. Some managers are so stubborn and so loyal to their style that sometimes it can be their downfall. Ten Hag wants to play out from the back, and De Gea is going to have to improve on that if he stays here next season, which I don't think he should. It looks like we're going that way anyway. But I would say that's an asset of Ten Hag's season. And this one is absolutely a massive one. We're looking at cornerstones. Man United's form at Old Trafford this season has been one of the cornerstones. Unbeaten in 28 games at home. Most home wins in a single season for Manchester United is 27. We are one shy of that going into this game against Fulham this weekend. So Ten Hag is... I know everyone wants him to rest every player, but I'll tell you what, especially if we're looking at this man in particular. He's missed so many games. I think he's shown that if you take him out, he can lose form. He's a little bit like Wayne Rooney when he was in and out of a team. So I kind of expected to play a semi-strong team against Fulham. I reckon Casemiro will start, hopefully, alongside Kobbie Mainoo. But we are one shy of our all-time record of most home wins in a season. We're unbeaten in 28 at Old Trafford. We haven't lost in the Premier League since the first day of the season there. He has built a fortress again at Old Trafford. Teams now, they will come to United and they will have to think differently. That's what it was always like back in the day. But last 5, 6, 7 years, geez, I don't know how many teams we've got trounced to at home. We've had some humiliations at home. We've had some real bad humiliations at home. It feels like that hopefully will change. But this is, of course, still all just the beginning for Erik Ten Hag. He doesn't want to finish in the top 4 and win the League Cup. That's the gateway to what he wants. Next season, right, good. Champions League, mission accomplished. But that's the first season. That's not mission accomplished. We want more. We want to be the best in the world. And every United fan wants that. There'll be some United fans saying, oh, Sam, how can you celebrate United getting into the top 4 and winning the League Cup? Like you're not allowed to celebrate milestones en route to your ultimate goal. If you live like that in life, man, you're never going to be happy. I'm only going to celebrate when I'm a millionaire. I'm not going to celebrate when I've got 100 grand in the bank. I'm not going to say, nah, what are you celebrating that for? Come on. You're allowed to enjoy the process at the same time. But this summer is crucial. In the same way I'm saying that signing these players was crucial to get us from where we were last season, there, to where we are now, this season, back in the Champions League, then Ten Hag being given the right players next season is so crucial. Whether that is going to be Kane and Mount and Rice, whether that's going to be Adrian Rabiot, whether that's going to be Marcus Thuram on a free, no one particularly knows. And of course, the looming situation around the takeover is still dominating headlines, as it should, because it's the most important thing that's happened to our club in its modern history. But with this man in charge, I've just got confidence about our on-the-pitch development. Off the pitch, we now need to develop at the same pace that we are developing on the pitch. The club has to have symbiosis. Often on the pitch, they have to be working in parallel, alongside each other. That's what we need. And it's just good to finally have that trust in your manager, that trust in the team. And in my opinion, I think the transfers, I think the way that he's handled players throughout this whole season and the pre-season, I think Manchester United's form at home, as well as a few other things, they are the cornerstones for the success that we've had. Back in the Champions League, the League Cup's won We might make it a cup double, an incredible cup double if we manage to achieve that and stop him winning City winning the treble. That game could be, well, that game is huge. But Ten Hag, he is the man. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed this season. I've enjoyed covering it with you here on United People's TV. I did call the 2 losses at the start of the season to Brighton and Brentford, the 39th and the 40th games of last season, and the pain of it. Since then, and to now, this man really has transformed how we've played. Not necessarily exactly how we've played, but the results we're getting and how United fans are allowed to start thinking about the Champions League and the Premier League again. Next season onwards, we can.